please, everyone, welcome TambourKing. Yes! Oh my god.
Is this how you wanted me? No, that's not how you wanted me? All right.
Actually,
Whatever.
last night, when I was testing getting this set up, I called Mr. Teg, and his light was off in his room, so he looked like that. I got the shock of a lifetime.
Yeah, I just set it up a long time ago, thinking that was
I like it.
going to be funny at one point, and it just kind of strikes fear into all my viewers. So,
Sometimes a reaction is the best thing.
yeah, that's kind of what I go for.
I've learned we can't always be funny all the time. I had to learn that the hard way.
No, I don't know what that's like.
I thought so. Well, welcome to the Classic Teg stream. How are you today, TambourKing?
Really good. You know, today was pretty stacked. There are lots of things going on, but you know, what can you do? What can you do?
Yep. You can handle it, I'm sure.
I've been through worse.
So, I don't know if you've revealed this on stream before, and you don't have to answer. You can give a range, but how old are you?
I am mid-30 something, Alaskan.
Mid-30. Alaskan age?
Yeah.
Nice bottle.
Oh yeah, it's just a water bottle.
Good. Water is my favorite drink. I know that's not cool.
No, that's how I lost all my weight.
Ah, really?
Mm-hmm.
Was it soft
I used
drinks?
No, it was just bad habits, like and fatty cooking and lack of cardio. Obviously, it was like all things all together just mixed in for one gigantic shitstorm. Pardon my language. I don't know if I can cuss on this.
You absolutely can. You absolutely can.
Okay.
And I guess I don't have to ask. You're in Alaska?
Yes, I'm in Alaska. Yep.
What's it like? Is it a good place to live?
You see this?
It's certainly beautiful.
This is just happening behind me right now. This is Alaska. It's actually not too bad, except for that whole we got a big ol' earthquake, I guess. I mean, but we've been experiencing tremors ever since, and it's been.
Wow. How long ago was it?
Friday.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, 7.0. Hey, what's up, Mathanta and Indigo and Mags?
Welcome in, everybody. Wow, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, no, it was big. No deaths, you know, no real damages.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, the buildings around us are built for that type of stuff. Ever since 1964, we had that 9.2 earthquake here, which was massive, just a massive earthquake.
Oh, I didn't even know that happened in Alaska.
Yeah, no worries. No, the biggest earthquake ever in North America happened up in Alaska.
Wow, lucky you.
Yeah, yay, our claim to fame. But no, overall, it hasn't been too bad. Like right now, it's 36 degrees in Freedom Units. I don't know what you guys call it down there, but it's fairly warm.
That's good. You can still enjoy a little bit of warm weather before, I guess, snow times.
Well, yeah, I mean it's like teetering, like it's threatening like a snow versus just a snane versus just ice rink for highways. So
that's dangerous.
Yeah, no, it's no good all around.
Yeah. Well, let's talk games. What are your current games? What are you playing at the moment?
So I'm kicking up an old school favorite of mine that I played it, but I was terrible at it because my young brain couldn't put it all together. But it was Space Quest, Roger Wilco series. It's old. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or even played it, but I mean we're talking like late '80s, early '90s for these guys. Yeah, and like DOS, I have to run DOSBox to play it.
Oh my goodness.
It was great. I mean, the game is great. Like right now, I just beat number 1, and that was a parse input game. So I don't know if you know what that is. Basically, yeah. Shut up, Megs. Shut up. Essentially, you have to input what you're gonna do, like open door, search room, look room. But it's all like it still has a GUI, like a graphic user interface. But at that, I mean, it's still like you can't just click on things with like an eye and click on things with like a hand. Like you could say taste body, and then they'd be like that. We think that's pretty inappropriate right now.
I love that.
Shay, how you doing? Yeah, no, everything. It's hilarious. It's hilarious because it's written by old school Sierra. Before Sierra was bought by Valve, so they have a lot of great dry humor in the game, and I think it's I'm having a really good time with it right now. So basically, the protagonist, he's just a janitor. Like he has no special skills. It's a very punishing game in terms of like if you don't save it, you're gonna get smashed, and you're gonna pay for it because you could go all the way back to the end of the game, or you could save incorrectly and be caught in like a death spiral. So yes, Space Quest. What's up, Death Ferret?
He knew. That sounds great. Would you recommend it?
Absolutely. I think it's $20 right now on Steam.
That's pretty good.
No, all six games that they made.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, so I would recommend it. I'm sorry, Anime. Hi. What's up, Ferret guy? How you doing?
Oh my goodness.
So
else?
that and to top it all off, matter of fact, I just looked over here. I forgot that along with my bad news, I lost a monitor. So
no.
Gotta go and get another monitor. Yeah, it's a 1080p monitor, so it's not too bad, but it's so anyway, other than that, I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I just bought an Xbox One X. And it's been great. But it is not a good stream game. I don't know if you've tried it or have been interested in it. Amazing game. Really, really, really well done. Obviously, like all things Rockstar.
Yeah.
But I will say that it is a really, really tough game to stream. So pretty much stopped streaming that one.
Do you mean directory-wise or like graphically?
Oh, I mean it's so hard to play. And I mean, like I'm usually a pretty interactive guy on chat. Like I will I don't care if there's danger coming at me in a video game, and I will still read chat and make sure that everything's copacetic over there. But what this one does is it's so open world that it's open world like cubed. You can do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it, and chat doesn't want to watch me go and bag 40 varmints and 3 deer and
I see what you mean.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So I mean, for me, it's totally a blast. Like it's a great couch game, and the Queen and I just bought a 4K TV here near Black Friday. So had to, of course, go and get a 4K Blu-ray player of some sort. Other than that, again, not to take it too. I don't know if you have more questions. Of course, I'm sure you do. But other than that, I've been working my way through. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the director's name, but he did Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human. You name it. Those games are so good. I love David Cage. Thank you, Quill. Yes, I love the story. I love being able to kind of choose your. I've always loved those games way back in the day of choose your own adventure. Those old books.
Me too.
Yeah, so good. And then other than that, I still mix in some first person shooters. I have hopes for Black Ops 4 to finally pull their heads out of their asses and bring up that 60 hertz server. We'll see.
Fingers crossed. What are some of your favorite games? So
favorite games
of all
ever?
time. Yeah.
Oh geez, Mary.
This question stumps people. I don't know why.
It's tough
hard to
because
pick.
I've been asked it by my own chat, of course, but like I'd have to say probably the Half-Life series. Half-Life 1, probably more so than anything. And I'll tell the story just for the edification of our combined chats here, but I know that my chats heard this story a couple times. Is essentially, I've got a really good friend. We'll call him Jay. Friend Jay, he was doing really well. He was getting his cooking career started off way back when, like, we were like in high school. He was doing like kind of, he was a prep cook, learning all that stuff. And he was making money and I wasn't. And he was talking about how awesome Half-Life was. I said, I can't wait to get $50 and play that game. And then he surprised me during my birthday and bought it for me. He had it all wrapped up and everything. It was the most kindest thing I'd ever experienced any friend, doing for me. So it holds a special place in my heart. Plus that whole like kick up of first person shooters. I'd say that is definitely my favorite game, but I mean there's always going to be a huge soft spot in my heart for Doom. And Wolfenstein 3D, I got my gaming career on PC started on that. Not far behind, of course, was Space Quest and Leisure Suit Larry. Don't recommend playing Leisure Suit Larry.
Okay.
But, I mean, unless you want it, I just probably wouldn't stream it.
Yeah.
And I just kind of all started from there. I mean, I have a handful of really big games that kind of just shaped how I mean, I don't know if you know this about me or not, Teg, but like, even though I was naming off a bunch of like story games, I'm a huge FPS person. Like I get competitive. Like I was in competitive Team Fortress Classic. I was in competitive Team Fortress 2, competitive Unreal Tournament. I did all this stuff. I competed in these things.
That was going to be one of my questions, actually. If you played any competitive games.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, I won a couple tournaments and was it? I guess that'd be Quake 3. Won a tournament in Quake Live. Other than that, no. That's kind of the only thing. I mean, Team Fortress Classic, that was my jam. Like, I learned how to do, the B hop and the C hop, and I learned how to do conch grenades. I don't know if you know any of this stuff, but essentially it was mechanics of the game that you could manipulate to win, to do better. And that kind of like, they didn't build the game thinking that people were going to use
they never do.
No, like it was, I mean, but it's not cheating. It was just like a huge skill gap. It's like trying to get in and learning, Instagib on Unreal Tournament, way back when, and never picking up how to get around the map. So that was my stuff, like way back in the day. It was just the blossoming period of TK, as it were.
Beautiful. Mr. Sniffit, who is also known as Mr. Teg in chat, says, reminds me of rocket jumps in Quake.
Man, I mean, that's how you do it. Especially like in TF2, you could be a soldier and you could still rocket jump, and that's literally how you could get around.
Wow.
It was really smart, and people played really offensively. It was a really well done, balanced game. Now, TF2 was, in my opinion, made more balanced, but made it easier for the newbies to come in and kind of learn it. So ideally, it made them a bunch of money, and that was a good thing. But in the end game, it kind of turned people like me off from that were expecting something like Team Fortress Classic, just updated graphics, more cartoony graphics or whatever, and do that. But I mean, to Mr. Teg's point, we used to do competition speed runs of conch maps, concussion maps, or rocket jump maps to go from point A to B, because that's what they did. Is they would build these really intricate, these really tough maps to get around. And I don't know, I mean, if you play Quake Live, one of the maps, it actually teaches you how to C hop or B hop, as it were.
Oh,
I think it's B hop. So nope. I can't hear you. I think I might have lost you.
Am I good?
No, now I hear you now.
I'm back.
Yep. Yeah, what's up?
Awesome. Do you have any pets?
Yes, we have two pups. We have Jean-Claude, which I think he's napping, so I'm not gonna interrupt him. But that's an emote made specifically for him.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, and then Leon. So Jean-Claude is a French bulldog.
Mm-hmm.
He's close to 2 years old now, I think.
Is this a baby?
And oh yeah, he's just a pup. And then Leon is a dachshund cocker spaniel mix. So he's got like a longer body but nice, long blonde beautiful hair type thing.
Gorgeous.
So yeah. So we call him King Leonidas and Jean-Claude.
I love it.
or Mr. Pudgers and Mr. Smelly. Mr. Pudgers is Jean-Claude. So
so cute.
yeah.
All right. What are your loves and passions outside of streaming and gaming and working?
I'd probably have to say work is I don't even know if work is a passion necessarily. Work is something that, I guess the passion is for me leadership and mentorship to people that look up to me for that type of stuff. It could be I'm in IT. I'm a CIO for a place here in town.
Oh wow.
But I'd probably have to say my biggest passion is music. It always has been. I learned a lot of. I went and took music classes all the way from about 4th grade through high school.
Wow.
Which is eight grades. I don't know how they do it down in Australia, if they even have school down there. And then
it nearly slipped by.
I know.
You nearly got me.
I wanted to call it out. So about 8 years or so of structured trombone. I was in jazz band. I was in symphony. I was in marching band, pep band. I was in all of it. I even have a Letterman's jacket. I don't know if you know what that is, but
oh my god.
Yeah, I went pretty deep into it. But I didn't just play trombone. I was also percussionist, guitar, drums. Near the end, I started getting into turntablism.
Oh wow.
So I could learn, I learned how to scratch, and then that kind of got my local career as a DJ started in my hometown. So I would, be doing dances and raves and all that shit.
Is that something that you still do?
I don't DJ anymore. No. Now what I do is I just produce music. So like I have the full blown Ableton 10 suite. I have some other tools around here. I have like a Push and an Ovation Launchpad.
Wow.
I have all these different things and like all these music libraries. Yeah, I'm still pretty percussionist heavy and horns heavy. Like I love the sound of a good brass section, and I love the sound of like really well done percussion / drums, indigo. Because it's not just drums. Let's set the record straight. Drums isn't just percussion. And drums is drums. It could be many a thing. But when I think of percussion, I think of other things, like wood blocks and things that make different noises, and that's actually kind of what got me started on wanting to become a Foley artist way back in the day.
Wow. I never knew this about you.
The triangle. There you go, Wounded. Thank you for making my point.
Underrated. Let me say.
No, I see. Yeah, I see. For Indigo's point, I totally see what she's talking about. Like percussion, you could definitely lump in a drum kit, all the toms and the timbres and the cymbals and everything else right into that. But I was just being more specific. Like I used to play, actual just a drum kit, and I used to play other percussion for things because I used to be in drama. I also took about 4 years of drama.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So is that where your name comes from, TambourKing?
So the TambourKing comes from a play of words of tambourine. That's why I have my tambourine, which fell down in my earthquake, and I moved it somewhere.
Oh no. Hey, there it is.
Found it. So tambourine, TambourKing, and I just thought it'd be fun to have, something makes people kind of laugh, a little bit of a giggle. One of my first BTTV emotes was the tambourine, and loaded that up. But yeah, I mean, I guess other than music, I'd probably say I dabble, I moonlight as a life coach. I've gone through some training. I've gone through certifications or whatever they are for life coaching, but I have a select group of people that reach out to me on like the weekly and ask for advice, and primarily just kind of a kick in the ass, and that kind of got me started into life coaching.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it was easy for me to fall into, but very hard. I think that people actually needed that. I'm not like a depression counselor. I've worked people through that. I've talked people away from suicide and things like that, but overall, I just gravitate more towards life coaching, and that's something else I do. So I guess that'd be a good passion note of mine, is mental health and awareness.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm sure there's a bunch of people in chat who are very interested to hear this information. I know I am.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. It doesn't matter.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Well, how did you get into streaming? I'd love to hear about how you first started.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, but sit down because it's not as intriguing. What happened was, I had never even thought about streaming, and I knew of Justin TV and I knew of Twitch, but I didn't know what the heck they were doing. Like in the initial get-go, I'm sitting there talking to myself, I'm like, why the hell would I want to sit on the couch or on the TV or whatever the hell and watch somebody play a game? Why am I not just playing the game? And then I kind of started going deeper into I was opening the book a little bit more and asking, like, what are these people playing? And I found out about speed runs, and I found out about glitchless runs and glitch runs, and things that people were doing to kind of just challenge themselves while playing a game. And I thought that was neat. I'd heard of speed runs, I'd heard of like competitions with like Tetris and the fastest Tetris player in the world and all that stuff. But then I came across one gentleman, and I have zero problem saying that if it weren't for him, I probably would not have started. And that was the Happy Hob. I don't know if you know who he is. Yep. The man is a fucking madman, like super madman. I didn't know. I didn't know anything about him or the situation that he was doing. All I knew was that he was no hit running Dark Souls.
Insane.
And going so hard into it that he would literally restart the entire game. So to reverse up a little bit here, in 2011, I tried playing Dark Souls, like right when Dark Souls came to PC. I got so angry, like just fuming.
I love Dark Souls.
How bad the controls were. It was not optimized for PC. It was just such a dick kick. So I turned it off, I uninstalled it, and I said, never going back. And then flash forward to was it 2018? So I've been streaming for about a year and a half. Last year, beginning of last year, I guess is what that would make it. I came across Hob, and he's doing the no-hit stuff. And I said, you know what, man? If he can play the game and do no-hits and stream, I can at least play the damn game. So I picked it up. And I just didn't put it down. That was the first game I played. I told myself I was going to beat all 3 games and Bloodborne, and I did. And the DLC. Except for, and people that, maybe they're lurking right now, but Dark Souls 2 DLC was too much of a dick kick. I just won't do it. I won't do it again.
I haven't finished Dark Souls 2.
No, I mean, Dark Souls 2 it was a good game, but Dark Souls 2 DLC was just rage-inducing. I mean,
oh, wow, really?
I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but it's like, you know what I would like to do? I would like to play the game, but on a harder difficulty. Oh, okay, you want to play the game on a harder difficulty? Well, let's just throw the same amount of enemies at you, but give them 400% more health. And you do 75% of damage, you know, something like that. It's just it's like it's like that. But I mean, in Dark Souls 2 DLC, all they did was they just expanded out the save points. So good luck getting to the save point before you eat shit. So yeah, that's the only DLC I did not beat of the Bloodborne series.
Oh my goodness, I haven't picked up Bloodborne.
Or Soulsborne, sorry.
Yeah.
I said Bloodborne, but I meant Soulsborne.
Should I play Bloodborne?
Absolutely. Like if you're gonna play any of the Soulsborne series, play Bloodborne.
Really?
It's so good. It's so good.
Right. I'm pretty late to the party.
Super. No. You're not. No. That's the best part is that if you do that and you write on the bottom of your stream blind, people are going to be like, oh my God, I can't wait to see somebody throw a controller.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my gosh. It is really good. And I would love to tune in and watch you play that. Absolutely.
Cool. All right. I'll add it to the list.
Please do.
What do you love about streaming? What do you love most?
Oh gosh. That's an easy one for me. I'd probably have to say just meeting new people across the world. You know, Hobbs a friend, an internet friend. But he said that he would love to get beer and hang out with me sometimes. So that was heartwarming.
Yeah.
Probably meeting, like I said, just kind of like at PAX West, I was able to meet Glitchbutt. She's a super sweetheart. I don't know if you've ever run into her, but she's very nice, very talented, very artistic. Got to meet Lobos Jr., another Dark Souls runner. It's just crazy. Like I got to meet those folk, in person, but I know people from East Coast, down south. I knew a couple people from Brazil, Australia,
Hey.
England, Serbia, just all these places I would never ever think to like talk to somebody, let alone put like a face to. And I don't know, I feel like we're all kind of doing the same goal. All we want to do is play games and have a good time.
Yeah.
And I surround myself with good people, challenging people, and I keep them as friends. So I kind of do the same thing as I would personally, like legit in person versus online, and I do the same thing. So probably just the network of people now that I know. Not that I'd go and be like, hey man, I need to crash on your couch, but just just be able to kind of like say, how are things going over in Perth? How are things going over in Serbia? How are things going over? And they could be like, well, man, things are going great. How is Alaska? And I'd say, amazing. Every time. You should move here.
Really?
Man, we have the biggest state in the union. I don't know if people understand this, but like the Aleutian chain. So I don't know if this is going to come up correctly on yours. Yeah, this should do it. So this is Alaska.
Right.
So you got the Aleutian chain way out here. You got the Panhandle down here.
Okay.
This entire area is about 670,000 square miles. This is like LA, and this is like Florida. So from California to Florida, it stretches that entire way. Plenty of things to explore, plenty of beers to be had. I mean, it's you can't get enough.
Chat's laughing at me because I'm trying to picture geography, like the geography of it. Not my strong suit.
It's really tough because when you go, although now Google's taking kind of a stance on the whole flat earthers thing. You go and you start zooming out and it starts curving,
I love it.
So you can see just how big Alaska is versus like anywhere. Like I know there's a couple people in my chat that are from Texas, and they swear on their Bible Belt that their state's the biggest in the union, and I'm like, no, friend, no, it's just not so. You can literally measure how big we are versus you.
I didn't know that. There you go.
Yeah, we are massive, but we only have like 700,000 people in our state.
That sounds nice. Like.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I live in Sydney, Australia, and it's packed. I don't know how many people there are here. Couple million. It's
You guys have a lot. I know you guys have a lot. Well, yeah. To Mr. Teg's point there, that he's not wrong with like maps are inaccurate. Like I met a person. I used to live in Texas, by the way, so I don't know if that means anything. But I met a gal who she didn't realize that Texas was not neighbors to Hawaii and Alaska. Because if you look at an old school, or not maybe not even old school, but just a U.S. map, instead of them drawing it way out and including like Canada, they just move Alaska down and they move Hawaii over and they put them right next to the other contiguous 48. She's like, "Oh my gosh, it's got to be hot down there, right?" And I'm like, "Down there." Down there. I mean, all I wanted to do was rock a K-Kona emote at that moment. Like, if I had that in real life, I mean, because that was my face. I was blown away. I was like, "Oh, you think Alaska's by Mexico? Okay, I get it.
Oh my goodness.
You're dumb." And I mean that with all due respect.
Seeing is believing.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What else do you love about streaming? Other than awesome people.
You know, I have a reason to sit down and relax, and I don't normally play a lot of games. So coming home from a long day of work, doing an interview and/or just kind of playing a video game is really relaxing. And if I'm gonna play it, I might as well, talk to people. Yeah. And if people want to talk, awesome. If they don't, that's totally fine. So I'm not trying to get too much back to the meeting the new people thing, but I don't know. I mean, I'm still a gamer at heart. I still like playing video games. Other than that, I mean, I guess, I kind of pride myself on a pretty crispy stream. I like to have a good,
absolutely,
clear photo. I like to have really good audio. Yeah, I think the challenge that I've, I gave myself this challenge essentially, but finding the best way to do clear audio and clear video and have 60 frames per second consistently. Like I just got done ordering it. I'm not done building it yet, but I'm doing a second PC so that I can go and just keep that going all the time, and hopefully in time. Oh, thank you. Oh gosh, that's a perfect idea. I'm such a shit. I thought I had done that. Honestly, let me get that down.
Cheers.
There we go. Anyway, because I want to do some sort of IRL streaming as well, where I can go and say, "Hold on, don't go anywhere. I'm just gonna swap over to my mobile phone," and then I can swap over to my mobile phone, and we can be mobile, and I don't even have to be on my Wi-Fi. I can just keep going. All you'll see is me go from this thing we got going on here to a quick like BRB screen, and I'll run a mobile command, and it'll go right into my phone, and then I'll be using my gimbal and walking around wherever the hell we're going.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that's the idea. I hope in time, anyway, to do something like that.
I love that. I love the idea of streamer magic. Oh, things just happen you don't see. Yeah, go on.
Mithanta says mobile, and how do you guys say it? Is it mobile?
Yes.
At least I said mobile versus cellular, because you guys don't even say it cellular. You guys just say
cellular sounds so weird.
Yeah, but I mean that's how we say it over here in the States. That's just how we do it. Yeah, but I've actually been trying to do more things like mobile. I'm not gonna say mobile because we don't do that, but I'll say mobile. My mobile connection.
Wow. Yeah, I've had to adopt some Americanisms.
Americanism, yeah. No, it's especially a question back to you, man. I don't know if anybody's got any questions for you. How do you? I'm gonna fire one back at you. How do you feel about being a streamer in Australia, and that a lot of the base for Twitch streaming and viewers are in America?
I've been thinking about that a bit recently because if you're like, the more people you have in your stream at any one point, the higher up your competition is. So like you say you have 30 viewers, you're in a different bracket to people. Yeah, and then say you're partnered and you've got 1,000 viewers, you're in another bracket of kind of competition.
Yeah.
I feel in Australia, the community is actually quite small, so I feel like I can have a place and I'll have a voice if I could just get the exposure, get up there. But
Sure.
America, yes, it is huge. I mean,
Yeah,
three-
I go ahead.
3 million broadcasters or something, 4 million. Like it's just so big.
Yeah, it is a big gorilla, you know. People will stream, like I've noticed people just in America streaming, like they start at 4 a.m, you know, their time, because that's when they either get off work and they're just gonna rock it. So it's hard to find that nice sweet spot where somebody in the UK or somebody in Australia can kind of break in and say, you know what, watch me instead. Watch me. I know that, you know, I'm new to Dark Souls, but I have redeeming qualities. Watch me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
or
that's
so
right.
I was curious about that. That was one of the questions I had back for you. So
Yeah. It's hard with time zones as well here because the optimal time would kind of be 4 a.m. for me. Like that's that would be, you know, prime time US.
'cause right now, was it what about 2 o'clock for you, or almost 2 o'clock for you?
Yeah,
right?
2:40 p.m.
Almost 2. See, it's I'm in the past, so you can tell me all about my future, but it's, you know, it's 1840. It's 1840 here on the 5th.
That's crazy.
So I'm in the past.
Yeah. And then also there's also Europe and the UK, and that's a huge market for Australians as well. Europe loves Australians. I don't know why. They just adore them.
It's your voice.
Yeah.
It's that I mean, we'll say accent, but I'd also say drawl.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Just that thing that kind of gets people and they're like, oh my god, say roads, you know.
Yeah. Say this word.
Say barbecue.
Barbecue.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you say it kind of.
Sound the same.
You said it the same.
Yes, shrine. It's actually called the shrine.
Shrine. Okay. Yeah. I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Well, I remember. I mean, I'm a guilty guy. I remember when I first kind of stumbled across you. I can't even remember what introduced me to you, and I'm so sorry.
Probably Edenoth, I think.
Oh yes, it was. I was gonna say it's either Edenoth or someone from that crew, because that was how I originally found you. Yeah. Okay. Good. But I remember being a dick.
Yeah, you're like, say this word. It was fun though.
Well, I mean,
it's really fun.
because there was another girl in here, and it was Mags Gamer Girl, I think, and she's also from Australia, and she was teaching me some of the lingo.
I didn't know that.
And she was talking about snags, like I guess you guys call sausages snags.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, no way! I'm gonna go and see if this other Australian streamer says snags too. So I barged into your chat, and I was like, oh god, you want to go get some snags on the Bobby? You know, just being a total fucking tool bag. Not trying to be. I'm just trying to kind of speak the language. So. I don't know.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
It's fun. But yeah. That's a fantastic question, and just going back on that, kind of, you mentioned Crispy Stream.
Yes, Team Crispy.
Yeah. Something that I admire about you is that your production quality, but also your business sense. I feel like when people come into your stream, they know, right, this person's serious, they know what they're doing, they're seasoned, they have great production. Yeah, that's kind of not a question, but I just wanted to say that.
Oh, thank you. No, that's perfect.
I feel like it's just very clear.
Yeah, I mean, I already had some of the music kind of. I had like a nice mixing board, and I've taken some singing classes and stuff like that, so I know how to sing. I've learned to kind of channel that, and I'm not like a radio guy. I don't have a radio voice. Obviously, you'd be able to tell, or a sports announcer voice or something like that. But it just kind of. I mean, I was like, I already got like 85%. 80% of this stuff. Why not just go and buy a couple more things and use it for streaming? So why not? Why not?
Yeah.
But thank you. Yeah, I want to have a good stream. I want everybody to have fun. I know that everybody's got bad days, and really, I kind of hope that they come into my and your stream, obviously, to relax and have a good time and just kind of let the problems of the world melt away for that time being.
Yeah. I love that aim. That's so great. Where would you like streaming to take you in the future? So like career-wise.
Nowhere. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I know this. I don't know if you wanted that. Make part awesome. You know, it's not about that for me, and I know a lot of affiliates say that, but for me, it's really not. It's just like all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play games and talk to people and be interactive and hope that they have a good time. For me, streaming is just kind of one of those things that if people need a impartial voice to listen to and just riff with, then I'm all about it. And if that gets me partnered, that gets me partnered. If it doesn't, that's totally fine too. I'm not doing it for the money. It's this will not overcome my normal income. And so I can't live off of streaming. But the idea of being kind of like a sounding board, or a face and a voice that people can kind of associate with or bounce ideas off of for as a complete stranger. I feel like that's kind of like my aim. Like I said before, life coaching and mental health is a huge proponent and an integral piece of what I am as a person. So it's not going to stop if I'm streaming. It's definitely not going to stop in my real life. So that's my motivation. That is what I am as a streamer. It doesn't matter if I save a person from bad thoughts or suicidal things, or get them that push into getting into their profession, then I feel like I've done a good thing. Even if I never know about it, that's fine. I hope that I've helped way more than I've ever hurt. So.
Wow, what an answer. I wish we could just box that and keep that. That was amazing.
I mean, it is. It's totally from the heart. I have no problem like kind of just bearing heart with my chat and with anybody else that's ever going through tough times. It's I can help. Lots of people can help, and there's definitely professional resources out there for it that are actually certified in life coaching and therapy and everything. But sometimes they reach out to the people that are right there in front of them, and you kind of have to be acclimated for that. So
yeah, exactly.
I would I'm just happy that I was there in that moment with those people. It's nothing sadder than knowing that people feel like there's no way out of things, and I always want to show them that there is.
Yeah, that's something I learned. Oh, you go.
Oh no, I was just saying positive ways of dealing with them.
Yeah. I was just gonna say this. One of the first things I learned, probably the first month of streaming, is people will come to you with their problems and what they're going through and tell you incredibly personal things. And I found it so shocking. I was like, we just met. But it's exactly right. You're right in front of them, and they just need somebody.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the thing is like, it's easy to be, it's easy to be an internet terrorist. You can go on and just be the worst possible human being. Yeah. You could yell obscenities, you could say racial things, and boom, you're banned, that type of thing. But like, a lot of people kind of see that as a nice level playing field where I'm not going to lose anything by telling you the absolute ground level truth. I mean, I say like, you could tell me your 30,000 foot view on this, and say, okay, well, I'm happy. And I'm like, oh no, don't tell me your 15,000 foot view. I'm happy most of the time, but also sad. All right, well, no, now break it down to get to your 7,000, and then you keep going down and down, and hopefully you get to kind of that core layer of what's either upsetting that person or driving them even deeper, and you help. And I will completely echo that. I feel like, I ran into a person way back in the day, and he doesn't come around anymore. And I know he's safe, but it was one of those things that was like, we got to be careful talking about that kind of stuff because it's triggering to a lot of people, you know. So I want to talk about it. I really want to talk about it, but I right now across, you know, 20 some odd people, you know, watching you or whatever my average is at that time, it's probably not the place for it. And I want to kind of take it offline. And I've gotten plenty of like Discord DMs. My email, my TambourKing email is published. You know, it's all there for the taking, and people have reached out in every way. So that was definitely one of the hard lessons. I mean, just to kind of echo and back you up on that, like streaming is tough because you don't know who's watching you. You know, I mean, you could look at your view count and you have 17,000 people that have tuned into your channel and looked at you and done whatever they've done. You know, nothing lewd, just like maybe they screen clipped something, then took it out of context and downloaded it and then uploaded it somewhere else. You know, your entire persona right there is captured. So, you know, you got to be careful. You got to protect yourself, but more than anything, you know, make sure that the people that are watching you realize that you have a boundary. And I learned that maybe a little too late. But overall, I feel like that kind of helps set the tone for everything else. And I have a really good community, and I can't complain about anything. So it's good. Yeah, I mean, I've had to set it up that way though.
Do you have any tips for setting that boundary? Because it is hard to get across sometimes. Because I'm sorry, I feel like it's hard to be fake when you're streaming. It's hard to be not yourself. So, you know,
Okay, so two things on that. One, you know, I'm a human being, chat, and I'm a human being, Tag. You know this. Obviously, I'm not an android yet. But I refuse to stream when I know I'm having just a terrible day.
Yeah.
They're not very often, you know, but I mean, everybody gets down, right? Everybody has like a big old gut punch from work or from whatever, you know, you got some bad news, whatever it might be. And then there's other days where you just completely rebound and everything is amazing. Stream, you're stoked. I can't wait to get home and play that game. I can't wait to see Sneezy Panda. You know, I can't wait to get home and just interact. You know, I want to do it. And that's the kind of energy that I think really kind of translates to the rest of the chat. Like the chat still has a pulse, and people can tell when you're not feeling yourself or not being yourself. So the worst thing you can do to me as a viewer and as a streamer is to expect me to stream when I'm doing terrible mentally. Or in general, you know, like I don't want you to think that I'm faking it. I'm not a faker. Like if you guys have learned anything about me right now, it's just that I don't fake many things, except my orgasms with it, like anything in life. And I gotta add a little bit of a joke there. You know, so I'm not gonna do it, and I don't want to subject you to it. I don't want to subject myself to it. So I hope I answered that question. Like, I mean, it's definitely it's really a delicate balance. You know, people need to remind themselves as viewers, if you're just a viewer and watching us do this, I mean, because there's tons of people that stream now. They want to stream. They think it's fun. They think they can, you know, catch that audience, and I absolutely want them to. You don't know what's going to bring people in. You could be, you know, bantering with your best friend about, you know, how clicky tops are worse versus twisty bottom pins. You know, it's all there. It could be literally anything. So don't discount yourself. Don't think that you're not, you know, approachable enough or entertaining enough to be a streamer. I feel like you should give it a shot if your heart's into it. But as a viewer, if you're watching somebody and you have a nice tight-knit community, whether it's 200,000 people that are following somebody versus, you know, I don't even know how many people, 100 people following you. If you are personable from day one to day whatever you're on, your community is going to be accepting of it, and they will only be accepting of it if you've kind of shown what you're doing and you've been the same the entire time. Like, I have bad days. I have good days. I can't wait to talk to all of you. Stop talking to me. You know, I mean, everybody gets that kind of like back and forth.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, I try to take opportunities to remind people. And luckily, I'm sure your stream fam and community is the exact same way. They understand when you might need a day.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine.
Yeah. Well, this sort of leads into my another question that I had. What advice would you have for someone wanting to start streaming?
So my biggest piece of advice is pick a schedule and stick to it. Like, when people start taking notice that you are going to be streaming at this time on this day and you are religious about it, they will park a tab, you know, park a web browser on you until you start, and then you immediately have a viewer kicking up with you. You know, never call people out of lurk, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, have good sound, you know, because if you're gonna show your face, be ready to think about, like, you know, your face being broadcasted everywhere, potentially getting clipped, put into different videos. Like, I found out one of my clips was thrown into a YouTube video a little while ago, and that was okay. It was kind of just another one of those gut checks where I'm like, oh my god, who's viewing my stuff? Like,
where did you find this?
Yeah, how did you find me? What's happening? But you know, I mean, you gotta. It's definitely like a mental preparation. Other than stream scheduling, making sure that you're mentally prepared for, Jesus, you know, all of it. You could literally be defamed or praised on simple things. So if you let a joke slip, and it's a funny joke, but if somebody takes it out of context, you know, make sure that you keep that stuff so that people don't. You have something that, you know, have a leg to stand on. Yeah, Indigo clip, a really good old clip of mine. But yeah, it's good stuff. Screaming like a little girl when you find charging you through the halls, you know, it's me, and I have no problem with it. But yeah, I just say, you know, other than stream schedule, just mental preparation. You know, I've been hosted by 2,000 people at a time, and it's quite daunting, you know, watching your chat just fly type stuff. And I've seen some streamers just kind of shut down. They're like I don't want to deal with this. Like, this is too many people watching. I'm fine with, you know, my 3 people, but all of a sudden when they get hosted, it's daunting, it's scary, and rightfully so. So mental preparation and stream schedules.
Nice. All right.
Sorry if my answer was a little long-winded there.
No, it's perfect. It's good. Just perfect. Do you feel there is a stigma around girl gamers on the internet?
No, not at all. I do know that some individuals game the system for, you know, the lonely and desperate, but like, that's not girl gamers. I mean, girl gamers are, you know, or Indigo, or, you know, like Mags, you know, they're down to earth, they're approachable, they don't put up with any shit, you know, don't come in and yell those obscenities like I was just talking about earlier, you know. Be personable. Join the community. Don't be an asshole. Any stigmas that might have come from that are things like, oh, she's a total fucking prude, or, you know, or she's showing her tits off or cleavage. You know, there's arguments against that, but you know what? It doesn't bother me. I don't give a shit. Just do what you want to do. It's your body. It's your stream, and the people that want to watch, let them watch. That's their life. That's their body. It doesn't bother you at all. And keep calm, carry on, I guess, type thing. You know, it just really doesn't bother anybody. So stop letting it bother you.
Perfect answer. I agree completely.
Yeah.
All right. This is my favorite question. What do you think the future looks like for live streaming and gaming content creation?
That is an excellent question, because so as, again, to revert back to an old story with a happy hop, I like ribbing him every now and then He's my oldest. He was the first subscriber I've ever subscribed to, which I thought was asinine at the time. I was like, wait a minute, I'm throwing this guy $5 a month to just fucking hang out and have a badge. all that aside, it was one of those things that's like, hey Hob, what are you gonna do after streaming? Like, I asked him that, and he's like, I'm just gonna keep streaming. He doesn't have an answer, because who has an answer? Like, you know, it's funny because I don't know if you've ever seen him in my chat, but his name is HackTech, and he's a really good dude, really good, you know, lifelong friend of mine. He and I were talking like face to face because we worked together today, and we were talking about what kind of makes that magic. Very, very, very few people, unless you're Ninja or Dr. Disrespect or Summit 1G or that person, you know, whatever it is, those guys have tens of thousands of viewers watching them all the time. Tens of thousands of subscribers at any one time, and they've had that power. They have that power to negotiate a higher than $2.50 per sub, you know, income. Those guys, if they're smart, as you know, my small amount of financial background would say, is basically live off of nothing for about a year while you're streaming and still hot shit, and then be prepared to retire on whatever you're most comfortable with, because the future of streaming to me is at some point you're going to become old news. It's you know, in the old saying, and maybe again in dating myself, but essentially you are going to jump the shark. I don't know if you've ever heard that. And it's in reference to an old Grease episode where the Fonz literally jumped a shark on like a wakeboard or on skis or water skis or whatever the hell. And everyone was like, all right, this is bullshit. I'm not watching it anymore. Yeah, or Happy Days. Yeah, Happy Days. Thank you, Pylons. Or Pylons. I was going to say Pylons. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
No,
we construct additional pylons.
I call him Pylons. This.
Okay, good. I'm hoping that I just didn't want to offend.
I'm not alone.
So, jumping the shark aside, after a certain point, you know, people will kind of just, and they're going to get tired of it. Like, I don't know how much you can stream one game and just keep streaming that game and hoping you're being pertinent. Now, there's definitely streamers that have streamed since the very beginning that keep reinventing themselves, and for that, that's amazing. Like, that's how you do it. You want to keep going. You want to keep being, you know, pertinent. You keep wanting to be in the spotlight, then you're going to have to keep changing up your shtick, as it were. But the future of streaming, I feel like it's massive. Like, for all the new people starting, the old, you know, we'll call them, you know, father times and the grandmother times. It's they're setting that precedent, because nobody would have thought back in the day that you could be a millionaire streaming. You know,
It's true.
You know, tons of sponsors, everything catered to you, flying around the world for competitions or whatever it is. You know, I mean, it's crazy. Not to talk too much about, you know, Dr. Disrespect, but that guy's got it. You know,
He's so entertaining.
It's not even a guess as to why people want to watch him.
Yeah.
He's good at the game. His persona matches his name. You know, it's very, very like that is how he is. Versus the guy that you might catch in a YouTube interview, you know, his name is Guy, and I can't remember the last name right now, but you know, very nice, very personable, very down to earth, and all that stuff. And it's just, it's the same. It's the same thing. He found that way. He found that niche, and he championed for it. And it's the same thing.
Happy too, beautiful
tag.
tag.
Always break into this market. You just have to kind of do a little bit different. So that you stand out from that crowd, and then honestly, your career is set as a streamer. The future of all things that you want to do regarding streaming is completely set.
Wonderful.
I don't think that there's any limit to it. You can take it as far as you want it to be.
Mm-hmm. I was researching live events recently, and if you think of like the moon landing, for example, that was broadcast live, and that was ages ago. So I think live things are such an important part of our culture. So
absolutely. You know, it's organic in the sense that everything is not, I mean, there's definitely YouTubers and things like that you know, fucking choreograph certain interactions. But for the most part, everything is live, everything is organic, everything is completely unique to that stream and or that day. So I kind of feel like, you know, the Ice Poseidons and all that stuff aside, streaming is a good thing for people to kind of interact with people that you wouldn't normally interact with, experience things you wouldn't normally, you know, you could leave our interview right now and go and find somebody doing an IRL stream in Tokyo, you know, just walking through the streets of Tokyo. There's no way you would have been able to do that, you know, 10 years ago. It's technology. It's the advancement of technology. It's crazy to think about it. Shit, you could be watching us on an airplane right now over anywhere, and it's
amazing.
Yeah, and you're looking at live, uncensored, you know, riffing and organic material, and I feel like that's the future of all things good streaming, like for like good streamers and good content. Like things shouldn't be too rehearsed.
I agree.
Yeah, there you go. See, Dr. Gamer Girl's on the toilet. There you go. never before would you have thought, while dropping a 2, could you be watching the number ones in the world?
How do you feel about that, though? That you've probably been watched on stream while someone's taking a dump. How do you feel?
It's not a good feeling. But I mean, I've experienced worse. You know, I've had unwanted sexual advances through email and things like that. I have to imagine that is women feel for attention, and they got the attention. So I knew going into it that, you know, I'm very particular share information with, and I mean, you don't know my real name, you know that I live in Alaska, but there's a shit ton of people up here. You have no idea where I live in Alaska. You know, I'm very, very guarded on that, because I have to be first and foremost protective of my family, my wife, my dogs, my other family. So I have to be. That's always got to be in the back of my head with whatever people start trying to pry out of me. And like I said, you know, other than lurkers, I can't really do. And I have a really good community for it, and I know that they wouldn't abuse me that way. So.
It's good. It's important to feel safe, even though you're sitting in your own home. You feel like, you know, you're in control. Sometimes people try and change that.
You know, people are. There are definitely. I mean, I told you. I think I told you once in the past.
Sorry, cut out there for a second.
I got doxxed in the past.
Oh wow, it's awful.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is my second name. On Twitch. First time streaming, but second name on Twitch. So I turned that all around, and I don't think anybody knows that I'm here, and
that's awesome.
It's totally fine. We're all right. We'll roll with it. So
good. Yeah, I'm pretty private too. I mean, I just say Sydney because Sydney's huge, but people think Sydney is small. So, you know.
Yes.
Like,
Sydney's huge.
Pretty lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go down to your little death sand trap, but yeah, it's huge. You can come on up. Come on up to Alaska, come on up to Washington, go to PAX, go to California, and
you have no idea how jealous we are in the southern hemisphere of all your cons.
Yeah, come on up. We'll meet up. We'll have some thick sips.
Oh man, I would love to come to TwitchCon.
You should. You totally should. Either TwitchCon or PAX or whatever you want to do. You just make it happen.
Yeah. Did you go to TwitchCon this year?
No. In lieu of going to TwitchCon, I went to PAX, and PAX was great. I've been talking to my friends that have gone every year for like, let's say, you know, the last 8 at minimum, and they've always asked me to come down, and I was finally able to make that happen. And I went to that versus TwitchCon, and I'm okay with it. I think it was a good decision because I got to experience a lot of gaming. I got to experience a lot of new technology.
Yes.
And honestly, at PAX, there was still a gigantic streamer presence. Like that's how I met Lobos. That's how I met Glitchbutt. That's how I saw Tiger Rider. That's all these people were all around. It was still a very big streamer presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and PAX West is it's called PAX West now because people that were doing PAX got upset about it being called PAX Prime.
Oh.
So they just call it PAX West now, but PAX West is where it originates. It originated. So you got a lot of cool things there. You got like a lot of indie developers, but you also got like board games and stuff. And they keep board games going until like midnight. It's really, really cool.
Please don't use sound commands right now. I just realized.
Wow.
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 All right, let's move on to some viewer questions. So a couple of people have been chucking them in chat.
I'm all about it. Let's see it.
What is your personal measurement of success on Twitch?
Oh, on Twitch. Okay. Well, it's gonna sound really nebulous and kind of fuzzy, but essentially, I get if I'm not having fun on Twitch, then I wouldn't do it. It's not about how many bits I get, how much money I get, how many subs I have, how many people I have that are concurrent viewers. It doesn't matter to me. I'd be doing it even if there was only one, and I'd be doing it if there was 5,000. It doesn't matter. I know that at a certain level, I would still crave that kind of interaction of like a one-on-one with a bunch of people listening. So obviously with 5,000 people watching or whatever it might be, it would be tough to have that kind of conversation. But if I'm not having fun, then why the hell am I doing it? So personal measurement, am I having fun? Yes, keep going. Not stop.
Nice. How did you become king?
Well, so like I said, it's a play on words. Tambourine to TambourKing. And just because I have a history with drums and percussion and stuff like that, I thought that would be good with timbre, drums, all that stuff. So I just went with that, and I thought it'd be fun. I definitely don't raid anybody's channel saying, bend the knee. Or bow your heads or anything like that. I'm not above anybody, and no one is above anyone. So, yeah.
Nice. What's your favorite color?
Probably black.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I'd probably say black. If not black, there's this really, and I'm gonna murder the color, but it's like an aubergine purple gold. That is, it was actually no influence on the colors of my logo and stuff like that, but like I saw it one time because it was one of those like color changing things. Like if you look at it from this angle, it looks very purple matte, and if you look at it from this angle, it's very gold matte, and it worked really well. So yeah, that's
awesome. Yes, he is a humble king.
Thank you.
All right. If there's one game you could forget it all and replay it again to experience the magic again for the first time, what would it be?
Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. I have very fond memories. My grandfather bought me a Super Nintendo way back in the day and bought me Super Mario Brothers. And they allowed me to play it on their television. And my grandpa would talk to me because he had like the Prima strategy guide. He'd be like, I think you need to go over here. My grandma would even play, two-player. My grandpa never played a game with me, but he would always help me read from the book. And my grandmother would play, and I always had such a time because she didn't quite understand the buttons and how to run fast or things like that. So yeah, she was an amazing woman, and my grandma. He's still alive, so he's still obviously an amazing man.
Still kicking.
Yeah, still kicking. But yeah, I'd probably have to say Super Mario Brothers on a Super Nintendo.
Oh, that's awesome. Is that your earliest gaming memory?
My earliest gaming memory was Ooh, good question. So I was a lucky child. I was born with a Nintendo 60 and then a Nintendo in my hand. 64, sorry. And NES. So I mean, my earliest memory is probably spooling up. It's really kind of a cross between Rad Racer and old original Super Mario on the Nintendo, the NES. Yeah, I had that. Learning how to blow on the cartridge, do a little tap, put that stuff in there, and
it's so nostalgic.
It was quite the time, because I was also playing like other games. Like I had like Hogan's Alley and all these old school Nintendo games, like Joust, all these random ass games.
Ooh, that's a good one. All right. We talked about the earthquake before, but is there any way that people can help? Is there any like?
If there was, I would definitely be tweeting it out. But right now we're doing really well. Like hardly. I mean, there was only like a handful of houses that took a hit, because of very strict building codes. A lot of people's houses are built on like a good form of bedrock. They're all wood framed. Nobody's house is, no one needs to be rehomed. So thank you to whoever that was for asking. That's really sweet of you.
Yeah, I think that was Pylons, aka Plions.
Plions. Plions, thank you so much. No, that's your sweetheart. Thank you for asking. No, luckily, nobody, no deaths.
That's crazy.
No buildings came tumbling down. Everything was great. We had some roads kind of cave in, but other than that, nobody was on it. Nobody got hurt. We were fine.
Fantastic. Do you have a favorite gaming genre? I think I can guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big tie between FPS and stories. But I'd probably have to say FPS. There's something so exhilarating about first-person shooters for me that once I start kind of getting that ebb and flow of a good FPS and I start getting good at the FPS, I feel good. And when I start, so not to digress too much from the question here, but that was how I originally started learning how to use a mouse and keyboard. When I was playing FPS, it was WAS and D and the arrow keys to learn how to look up, down, left, right. And I started learning after Quake 1 that my tactics were shit. Absolute shit. So I started playing Quake 2 and I was learning, like, I was still really good, like with because I had my, different sensitivities and stuff set up like that for the looking. But I found out that people were integrating the mouse into their game. And at the time, all I had was one of those like little thumb mouse with a little ball on it.
Oh my god.
So trying to aim with that was gigantic. Just it was so bad. But I started learning and I got to it. And I'll never forget this girl's name. And I know that she was in Alaska, but she always went by Leak. And she's a gal. She went to college, and I never got to talk. It's much like a lot of internet, relationships. Yeah. You meet someone, you talk to them, you get kind of close, and
then they're gone.
Yeah, you're like, oh fuck, I hope they're doing good. I hope that life is doing amazing. But she would stay up late with me and teach me how to use a mouse and keyboard. And I was like, I can't do it. Like I'm just like, just like turn down your sensitivity, aim for this. Like she would just do like normal like jump figure eights and try to get me to hit her, and I was totally heartwarmed by it at the time.
Shout out to Ellie.
Yeah, Leak, wherever she went. Sweetheart as well. But yeah, I'd say that that kind of gets into the point of me learning, more about first-person shooters and getting my brain wrapped around mouse and keyboard movement and how precise and how fast you can be. And that kind of only threw more fuel on the flame for me. Like I needed to learn more about Unreal Tournament, probably one of the faster FPSs you could do. And I got into Instagibs Yeah, instant matches and competitions, and it was great. I loved old school Tribes. I don't know if anybody remember Tribes, but Tribes was great team based game. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't believe I'm asking this question. Would you date Elemental Elite?
I'm sorry, who is that?
Yes.
Oh, in chat. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't.
I like that answer. That's good. That's good.
I don't do LDRs. I'm sorry. Don't show up on my doorstep.
Watch out. Watch out. What's your dream car?
Shit, that's a good question. I'd probably have to say well, I have dream cars, right? But are you saying like I had to choose one car?
Yeah.
One car to be a garage queen for a while until I could take it on track days would be a 911.2 GT3 RS. That is a Porsche 911 GT3 RS. It is strictly built for track, not for driving around because it's uncomfortable as hell.
Right. All right.
Yeah. I just bought a Tesla 3 though. Got that going for me.
That's awesome.
So that'll be plenty fast for everything that I'm looking to do here anyway.
You have been deemed officially cool.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. Like Porsche to me is kind of the epitome of all things, performance. It is very purpose built, especially when you start hollowing out a car, putting a roll cage in it, and 6-point harnesses and just fucking slap a $200,000 price tag on it. It's very purpose built. You can't argue with that. Now you have your Bugatti minded people in your Civic minded wallet or your Civic budgeted wallet, and you're never going to get a Bugatti. But the people that own a Bugatti are the people that already have like 2 jets, a yacht, and 60 plus cars. So my dreams are attainable, but like there's definitely amazing cars out there. You got like the Nissan GTR, you got the what else is coming out that's kind of blowing? I mean, you got the Tesla, you got the new Tesla Roadster for $225,000. You're gonna blow the doors off of literally any internal combustion engine car for double that price. I mean, but that $50,000 down payment might put a dent in your wallet pretty quick. But I mean, honestly, I can't argue with technology. I can't argue with people's wallets. It's what you want to spend. To me, I like being, if I'm gonna take it to the track, I want to be engaged with it. I want a 6-speed manual gearbox or whatever it might be. Rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive is fine, but I prefer rear-wheel drive. And drive it, because that's what they're meant to be done. Cars are meant to be driven. So there you go.
Take it on the what are the German highways called?
Autobahn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I was gonna do it, I would Porsche over there in Stuttgart and pick it up and beat the hell out of it for a couple weeks, and then have it shipped back to me wherever I was.
Sounds like a good plan. Good plan for the future. All right, Frosty, this is a good question. How much does music affect you, and what is your favorite genre? We already talked about music a little bit, but how does it affect you?
Oh, geez. How boring would life be without music?
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, could you imagine sitting in the dental office and being like, wow, really fucking quiet in here. No music, no quiet radio. It does. I feel like music has an inherent connection to the soul, like that. It doesn't necessarily define you, but the right song at the right time will make all the difference. If you're sad or if you're happy and you need that song, or what, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna listen to Knife Party from 2008.
Yes,
punching bags. It's just gonna. I mean, if that's what it is, that's what it is. But I think music, to me, I would hate to live in a life without music. Music is paramount to my existence. I honestly could not imagine it with it. Well, there was a second part to that question though.
What's your favorite genre?
Favorite genre? You know, I used to. So back before I was DJing, I used to be really into punk. Like I used to listen to a lot of like NoFX, Lagwagon, all these old school punk bands. And then I met up with my cousin who was a DJ in Houston, Texas, and he started introducing me to electronic dance music, deep house, and things like that. So it kind of depends, like on the mood. Like if I had to choose a certain genre, I don't know if I could do it because there's so many things. Like now that music spread apart, and you know, you don't just have EDM anymore. You got actual electronic dance music, you got techno, you got psytrance, you got Moombahton, you got drum and bass, you got, you know, whatever it might be, it's all there. And then you got genres of punk, you got genres of rock, you got genres of classic rock, you know, it's all there, right? I don't know. There's definitely things that always tug on my heartstrings, like classic rock, like The Cars or Led Zeppelin, or you know, old school Black Sabbath. You know, things that will always kind of have a memory tied back to it, with like when my father or whatnot. And then there's other things that are tied to my cousin, you know, electronic dance music, him introducing me to the people that kind of got me started on this whole DJ craze. And then there's things that like kind of just really resonate with me, like a nice acoustic set of City and Color. You know, I haven't listened to them in a long time, but it's a good example because, you know, it's very raw in terms of their sound. Dallas Green has a great voice and really good acoustic skills. You know, I don't think you could do any wrong by giving them a listen, but it just really depends. If I had to choose a favorite though, I'll say psytrance. I'd have to probably gravitate to psytrance because psytrance never really stops me from getting pumped up. And one of my favorite groups in the world is Infected Mushroom. Just great group. Their layering and production value behind their electronic music is not to be fucked with. Like they are just tier. They are top tier.
I'll have to check them out. I'm gonna write it down.
Oh, absolutely. I can point you. They just came out with another one. They were just recognized on Monster Cat for it. Bliss on Mushrooms was their release. Yeah, something that just kind of, I mean, like, I can always find that sad song. I can always find that acoustic song. I can always find that classic rock song. But something that just says, you know what, put this on, and, you know, who gives a shit if you're just giving yourself like a carpal tunnel neck? Just bang it out, you know. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one song that never ceases to make me happy. It always makes me happy. Is Highlander the One. So look up that song, and it's 11 minutes, so buckle up. But it's so good from beginning to end. It just it gets you going. What's up, Abyss? Thanks for coming in, man.
Do you read?
Read?
Yeah,
or raid?
Like books. Read books.
Oh Jesus, yeah. So yeah, this is an old habit that I've been breaking, but when I was getting my master's in business, I read literally nothing but like leadership books, mentorship books, financial books, business books, all over the board. Like I still kind of catch myself going back into that. Like I feel like if I have free time and I'm not reading something about mentorship, leadership, coaching, I feel like I'm kind of wasting a little bit of time. But I have to like whip myself out of it because I will literally get stuck. I have a Kindle for it. I have an Audible account for it. I do all of that. And if I had to go back to a genre though that I love reading for pleasure, I'd probably have to say sci-fi. I love, like, one of my more favorite books that I ever read was the Ender's Game series, or not Ender's Game. Sorry, Ender's Game was a good one, but Seifert's Hope was a really good one. I think it was Feintuck, if I remember the author's name right. Anyway, I started getting into it. I loved it. Starship Troopers. Anybody that knows me, fucking love Starship Troopers. That is the best book, best movie, It's not the best book. The movie is hilarious, and I love it, and it's a popcorn movie through and through. And I could probably quote the entire fucking thing. Other than that, though, you know, of course, you know, I read the Lord of the Rings series, and that kind of gets into the drama. You know, I was acting through high school for Grease and My Fair Lady and Lord of the Rings, or The Hobbit, I should say. So I had to read those books and learn more about them, and that was good stuff. I love reading for pleasure, but if I like turned my camera right now, you'd probably see, I got some Calvin and Hobbes, which is near and dear to my heart, like the best comic in the world, Calvin and Hobbes. But if I just panned it over a little bit more past my Trapper Keeper, you would see The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Why should anyone be led by you? Grit to Great, The Engagement Equation, The Innovators. You know, things that kind of just get down to the nitty gritty of how to be, you know, why should anybody be led by you is a good book. So if anybody has anything, you know, that they're aching to read, or The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is a great coaching book. So
that's awesome. Leadership, I feel like, is one of my weaknesses. Maybe my greatest weakness. So yeah, I should really check out some of this.
Yeah, don't even worry. I can give you a bunch. But there's another really kind of it's a long read, but it's very introspective, very empathetic to people, and it's an interesting read if you have the time to read it. That's a good one.
What's the title again?
The Mind Illuminated.
Right.
There is an Audible for it. There's also a book for it. There's a PDF out there, I'm sure, somewhere. So, but yeah, everyone's leadership capabilities are completely different. Not to say that anyone's worse or best. It's finding that time for when that kind of skill can be used.
All right. Do we have any more viewer questions? This is your last chance. Ever. No.
Yeah. Never again will I listen to any of you.
Questions. Ooh, do you have any secret talents? Talents.
Well, I don't know about secret talents. I mean, I told you guys I'm pretty musically inclined. I mean, people that have hung out my stream know that I can sing.
Ooh.
Secret talents.
Can you do anything weird with your face? That's what I always think of when people ask me something.
No, I can't. I was thinking about that too. That was like something. Don't jump out. Like, can I make a weird face? But no, not really. I guess my secret talent would be Twitch. None of my, I only I'll say less than 5 in real life. People know that I stream.
Really? That's so interesting.
Yeah. Nobody knows I do this. Nobody knows that I, have as many followers as I do, and I stream over the weekends and whatnot. So I think maybe that'd be my secret talent, is that I can make a good stream and a good channel. And yeah, but I mean, you're getting what you would get if you and I work together or friends anyway. So it's
I feel like that comes across too. Yeah.
Hey, Hack Tech, he gets it. There's Hack. I was talking about you earlier, man. All good thing.
Yep. Secret talent is thick sips, says Indigo.
That's not far from the truth. Yeah, I've been known to sip thick on stream.
Frosty asks, where have you been since I've been on Twitch, and why am I only just discovering you now?
Well, I've only been streaming for a year and a half, and I'm not
amazing.
I don't go into other people's chat and even talk about myself at all. People come in, and if they ever ask me, I'll tell them, but I'm not one to just go in there and just start using my emotes in someone's stream or whatnot. And honestly, probably parts of my slow uprising is just that I'm a variety streamer. I don't just stream one thing. I stream everything. I mean, you old school 8-bit games to brand new games that are just getting released, to beta announcements and alpha announcements. I'm all over the board, so people don't really have a genre that they can stick me in. So I'm a variety streamer, and that's probably not helping, but I don't care. I'm doing it for me.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. I think that's the motivation for a lot of variety streamers as well.
Yeah, it really is. Just to have fun, have a good time, meet new people, do all that stuff. It's true.
What's your favorite kind of candy? Now, in Aussie land here, we
Reese's
call
Pieces.
it Reese's Pieces, right? We call them lollies, so I don't care how you feel. Candy. It's just, yeah.
Call them lollies.
Yeah.
Okay, my favorite lolly that's not a lollipop is Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
And Reese's Pieces.
So you don't call that like a chocolate?
No, we don't call that a chocolate. Is like a Hershey bar.
Right.
That's a chocolate.
Do you call that chocolate bar?
Well, I mean, it depends. It depends. Like, no, I think over here, at least in my land of old fat TK, I used to call them by their name. So a Twix bar is a Twix. A lolly is a lollipop. Like a Tootsie Pop or like a Crab Apple Pop or something like that. But definitely not like just candies and an all-encompassing thing. But I mean, I also grew up at a time where hey, can I get a Coke? And then be like, oh, do you mean like Pepsi? I'm like, no, I meant Coke.
Yeah.
I would like the Coke, please.
It's like that.
You say it by their name. You say, I want a Sprite, or I want a root beer. I want Reese's Pieces, not I want chocolate.
That was pretty good.
I tried real quick.
Almost convinced.
But since like I said, Fat TK being gone, I just don't do sugar as much anymore. Every now and then I'll break off and of course spoil myself.
How did you break that habit?
I was tired of being, I don't know what this is in your unit, but I was 280 pounds, 285 pounds.
Let me Google
and I was tired of not being active and having a lot of belly and a big old neck, and I just said to myself, I am done with sugar, I'm done with alcohol, I'm done with breads, carbs, and I just started doing a very bland. Hacktech was there for a lot of it. A very bland diet bland, but I found out ways to do this. But chicken, salads, tuna, good wholesome proteins and complex carbohydrates. And then in, I guess I would say about a year, a little over a year, I lost, from 280, 110 pounds.
Wow, so it's like almost half.
I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is in kilograms. Yeah.
Wow.
And I did it in a way that kind of helped me keep it off. Like I still kind of rebound. Like right now I'm back up to 200 pounds, but I go from 190 to 200 depending on how much pizza and beer I indulge.
Oh god, pizza's the greatest.
Fuck it. That's my favorite food. That is, if you ever want to get in if you ever want to make me happy, you will give me some pizza. Yeah. Yeah, I love pizza. I absolutely love it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Chat is so excited because you're like the same as them. Everyone's like, that's my favorite thing. That's my favorite car.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
I mean,
I think best, being healthy, being happy is the best. Having pizza every now and then. I think as long as you intermix more of the good things with the bad things, you're fine.
I love it. Okay, Did I miss anybody? Let me see. Oh, does pineapple?
Tron Dragon, you get the fuck out.
So that's a no?
No, pineapple does not belong on pizza.
Oh my god, TambourKing.
I know we're drawing lines now. Everyone's unfollowed. Getting out of here.
You had a good run.
I had a good run. I was almost there. No. I mean, all bullshit aside, like I would never order it, but I totally see why people want fruit on their pizza because it's a good contrast to the salt. I want something sweet with the salt, and when you bake it, especially if you can get like a nice char, like smoke pellet or fire pellet, or a nice smoky char on top of that pineapple. When you bite into it, super good. Like I love it. Tomatoes on pizza, absolutely. Like sun-dried tomatoes. Like I've had some things on it. Obviously, like green peppers and whatnot. Like, but sausage. I'm a big meat guy. I love meat. So sausage, hamburger, fucking pepperoni, you name it, it's all on there. But like some of the different stuff I've had is, green peppers, red peppers, sun-dried tomatoes, red onions, gourmet pizza type stuff. And
What about
I'm all
broccoli?
about it. Like,
would you eat broccoli?
you know what? Yeah, so there was one pizza that I had that was really good. And this might sound not good to you, but bear with me, chat. It's a normal like dough, very good dough, a white cheese sauce mixed in with macaroni and cheese with cheddar on top, baked on top of it with broccoli cut up into tiny bits all over it. And
I'm there.
super
I
good.
believe.
Like that is super good. Yeah, absolutely good.
Where do I find this magical
Up
magical
here in
food?
Alaska, Ted. Come on up. We'll
I knew it.
IRL stream it. Bring Mr. Teg. You can meet the queen.
That'd be
It's
so
all good.
cool. That'd be
Yeah.
so awesome. All right. Well, I think we've come to the end of this fantastic interview. Thank you so much, TambourKing.
Absolutely. Anytime. Always have a lot of fun stream, and thank you for the opportunity to have an interview on your stream.
Oh, thank you. So much insight has just been gained. I'm surprised about some of the facts that we now know about you, but I'm so glad that we do.
Well, I
Please,
hope they're all good facts.
of course, of course. Please,
Right
everyone, head over to TambourKing's channel. Thank you so much, Frosty. Go and give him a follow. Also, where else can we find you on social media? So you're on Twitter.
I am on Twitter.
Yep.
Same thing. Twitter.com/TambourKing.
Yep.
And that's kind of my only. I have a Discord.
It's
as
highly
well.
recommended. It's highly
Discord.
recommended. It's
Discord, yeah.
highly
I don't know
recommended.
if I have that readily available. Yep, I
It's-
do. You mind if I put it in? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a
All right,
bloody good
there you go.
Discord.
Yeah, if anybody wants to hang out, that's the kingdom there. You can join me on Twitter. You can join me on Discord, hang out. Everyone's welcome. So absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, everyone, please give TambourKing a round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes.
Tip of the crown to you, chat. Tip of the crown to you. Thank you so much for all your time tonight. I do appreciate it.
Also, TambourKing taught me that these are called finger guns, and I didn't know that, so
Finger guns.
This is-
the best.
top quality
Pew, pew,
content.
pew, 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 pew.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful night.
Of course. Literally anytime you want to do it.
Yay, awesome. I'm down.
All right. I'll catch up
All
with you soon.
See you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, chat. Thank you so much for those phantom follows that I'm hoping I got, but I do
Yes.
appreciate all of you
Everyone
hanging
go
out.
follow.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.